Hi everyone, this is Sugantha Priya, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Dr. SNS Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. In this lecture series, we are going to discuss about exception handling. The objective of these presentations are introduction, what exceptions are used for, catching and throwing exceptions, exception specifications, standard Java exceptions, exceptions and polymorphism, the finally clause, resource management and uncaught exceptions. Exception handling in Java is one of the effective means to handle runtime errors so that the regular flow of the application can be preserved. Java exception handling is a mechanism to handle runtime errors such as class not found exception, IO exception, SQL exception, remote exception, etc. What are Java exceptions means? In Java, exception is an unwanted or unexpected event which occurs during the execution of a program. That is, at runtime, that disrupts the normal flow of program instructions. Exceptions can be caught and handled by the program. When an exception occurs within a method, it creates an object. This object is called exception object. It contains information about the exception such as name and description of the exception and the state of the program where the exception has occurred. Due to the design errors or coding errors, our program may fail in unexpected during execution. An exception is a condition that is caused by runtime error in the program. The purpose of the exception handling mechanism is to provide a means to detect and report an unexceptional conditions. An error may produce an incorrect output or may terminate at the execution of the program abruptly or even may cause a system to crash. So it's our responsibility to detect and manage the errors properly. There are few major reasons why an exception occurs: invalid user input, device failure, loss of network connection, physical limitations, that is out of disk memory, code errors, opening an unavailable file. Errors represent irrecoverable conditions such as Java virtual machine running out of the memory leak, stack overflows, etc. Errors are usually beyond the control of the programmer and we should not try to handle the error. There are many type of errors like runtime error. A runtime error occur while the program is running if an environment detects an operation that is impossible to carry out. Logical error occurs when a program doesn't perform the way it was intended. Syntax errors arise because the rules of the language has not been followed. They are detected by the compiler. Some types of typical error are as follows: memory errors, that is, memory incorrectly allocated, memory leaks, and a null pointer is allotted. File system errors, that is, the disk is full, means the disk can be removed. Network errors, that is, if the network is down and also the URL does not exist. Calculation errors like divide by zero errors. Next is how to handle exceptions. To handle the exception, you write a try catch block. To pass the exception up the chain, you declare a throws clause in your method or class declaration. If the method contains code that may cause a checked exception, you must handle the exception or pass the exception to the parent class. Remember that every class has an object as the ultimate parent. Next is a try catch mechanism. Wherever your code gets triggered by an exception, the normal code logic is placed inside a block of code starting with the try keyword. After the try block, the code to handle the exception should arise is placed in the block of the code starting with the catch keyword. Next is the hierarchy of Java exception class. The java.lang throwable class is a root class of Java exception hierarchy inherited by two subclasses, exception and error. The hierarchy of the Java exception classes is given. Next is catching exceptions. Wrap the code to be checked in a try block, checking errors all the way down the execution stack. Try blocks can be nested. Control resumes at the most enclosed matching handler. Java exception handling is managed through 5 keywords: try, catch, throw, throws, and finally. Program statements that you think can raise exceptions are contained within the try block. If an exception occurs within the try block, it is thrown. Your code can catch this exception using catch block and handle it in some rational manner. System generated exceptions are automatically thrown by the Java runtime system. To manually throw an exception, use the keyword throw. An exception that is thrown out of the method must be specified, such as throws clause. Any code that absolutely must be executed after a try block completes to put in a final block. In the above example, a division by zero exception occurs, which is handled by a try catch block. If we divide any number by zero, there occurs an arithmetic exception. Conclusion: exceptions are powerful error handling mechanisms. Exceptions in Java are built into the language. Exceptions can be handled by the programmer, try, catch, or handled by the Java environment, throws. Exception handling can hide the errors. It can also correct the errors. Thank you.